you made of their start to the season and the work Ange's done there?
Ange's done fantastic. Again, I obviously played in Australia for 2 years, and I obviously seen some of the stuff that the Aussie coaches can do. Very, very technical. A lot of them work off the Dutch philosophy, but with a bit of Aussie grit. They love that. But then he obviously went over to Japan and different places, so he learned from them, probably the discipline from Japan. I've just been in there with the under-18s national team, and we played against Japan and Korea, and looked at some of Korea's training methods. Unreal. So working with that and getting some of that stuff, bringing it over to Europe, and then obviously what he did at Celtic was phenomenal. And now taking that step into Spurs, and Spurs is a big club. We've got to give it some training ground, stadium. They're building a squad. They're in London. They should be where they are right now, and he's probably the right manager to actually build that. Probably the right manager to take a lot of the pressure away, because he's approachable. He's charismatic. He's got everything. So he takes a lot of the pressure away from the players, so they can actually perform as well.
No, it's out of his shell. We're seeing Harry go and smash it in the Bundesliga.
Yeah, I don't know if it was a bonus, because again, when you can't say getting rid of or Harry Kane leaving is a bonus, because what he's doing and what he's done and what he's still going on doing. But I think it's a different focal point now, isn't it? I think it's more of a team focal point than actual just a one player. And like you're saying, you've got Son. He has to step up to the plate. You've got Maddison, who will always step up to the plate. That's just his temperament. You've got all these players that are now having to pull their weight because they're not just relying on one person.
Exactly. I mean, there's very
similar.
They're
similar. They're similar sort of players. Again, when you're talking about goals, I think it's parallel. You can't really say that's an upgrade or a downgrade or whatever. They're parallel. They're giving you goals. They might give you a different style of play though, because I think Lewandowski's more runs in behind. He's really, really special with his movement off the ball when trying to get in and trying to get a one-on-one. So, well, Harry's more of a player who will come in, link, turn, have his shot, score goals from halfway line, stuff like that. So, yeah.
Is that when it comes to the Champions League?
He'll perform, but yeah, definitely when it comes to goals, he'll definitely perform in that sense. Whether it's the missing piece, he'll take you to the final and eventually win it. Only God will know, but he will definitely get you goals in any form of competition that he plays in. And then I remember Owen Hargreaves talking about when he first went to City, and they was talking about basically them winning the Champions League, and he said they were miles off it. And they were like, wow. He was saying, well, defensively, you can't be so open. And now I think if Bayern can be like what they're usually like, where it's quite close, it's quite compact, it's hard to beat with a Kane up front. You're going to get goals, you're going to get results.
Do you want to on a solid run of form and find that consistency?
If I'm honest with you, it's the $1 million question, isn't it? Because you look at Ollie, never got that either. Jose never got that either. So there's a consistency with this. I won't say this bunch of players, but with the club and bringing players in that they're not able to really string together and not really able to gel. I don't see them as a team. I actually don't see them as a team. I don't see them as a team that's going to fight for each other. I don't see them as look at Spurs. You know, a team that's going to really dig down and fight for each other. And as well, and it happens with eras. You go through that. They've lost that invincibility. Man U won the game before the actual game started, in my era anyway. I know teams that would go there, and you're like, you've already set up to lose. Now teams are actually going to Old Trafford and saying, well, we're going to win this. This is how we're going to set up. Bro. They've lost that invincibility.
What do you think the problem may be?
Look, I don't think it's anything to do with the contract, because again, what would be if he was still on his old contract? What would it be? There'll be another excuse. I think it's just excuses in that sense of us as fans that we're looking for something. The reality is, there's a lot of onus on him being a local lad. There's a lot of pressure on him, and he managed to deal with that pressure He needs to figure out how to deal with that pressure again, like he did last season, because there was a lot of pressure on him last season. But he managed to still get the goals. He probably was. The fascinating thing is, he's probably given the same sort of performances last season, but he was finishing his chances. Now, when you're not finishing your chances, everyone's looking at the money, everyone's looking at your lifestyle, everyone's looking at your partner, everyone's looking at what you don't do here, what you do there. You're doing your things for the kids' schooling. You should just concentrate on football. Yeah, but if you just concentrate on football and it eats away at you, and then you have a mental breakdown, then you're saying, well, why didn't you actually go and do something else outside of football when you have the time to do something else to take your mind away from that? I think for Marcus, he just needs to figure out have the balance of what's good for me. How can I get myself back to scoring goals? How can I get myself back to performing? Is that taking myself away from this? Is that putting in more work in here? Or is that just being more focused when I actually get that chance to take the opportunity?
Yeah, but that sort of suggests that maybe there's a bigger problem rather than
just him. And again, I think being a local lad and being accessible locally, I think he will get a lot more of the flack, because they'll believe that he needs to stand up. He knows what it means to be putting on that shirt. Some of the others might not necessarily know what it means to be putting on that shirt. He should know what it means to be putting on that shirt. So he'll probably get the flack more.
Exactly. Now,